Have you ever been to Geiger Key Beach over on, obviously, Geiger Key in the Lower Keys? Now, what people like about Geiger Key Beach is that it's very secluded. There's not as many people there as there is to Smathers Beach, where you see everybody, all the tourists go there. So a lot of people have the assumption that it is much cleaner, it's much nicer, and it's a much more natural feeling. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, it's really not true. Well, along with all the beautiful salt flats and the mangrove forest, what you see there is trash. You'll see everything from gallon jugs to beer cans to used baby diapers. And that's all a factor of marine pollution or ocean pollution, however it is that you want to call it. Today, what I'm going to be telling you about is ocean pollution. I'm going to tell you about the environmental effects, how it's happening, and organizations that are helping and what it is that you can do. So, the environmental effects. Locally, we have a huge dependency on the mangrove forests that are in the Lower Keys. Why is that? Now, the Lower Keys has a very soft shoreline, like sand or brittle limestone, and these mangrove forests allow us to be hit by waves. They're essentially shock absorbers. They absorb the shock of the waves coming through. They don't allow the waves to erode at our shores, and they allow us to have this land that we have here. How is this affected by marine pollution? They catch everything that we don't see. You ever go up into some mangroves along Key West, you're going to find styrofoam buoys, gallon jugs, and beer cans from the tourists who don't know what they're doing. Now, as well as those, are things that you can't see. A large factor of it is going to be oil and gasoline and other pollutants such as that. Now, have you ever tried to take a plant and feed it oil? It's not going to work. It doesn't work like water. It's going to kill the plant. We may see it as being diluted by the salt water, though that's not essentially true. What you have is a slow concentration in the mangroves themselves, and they're going to start dying. Once they start dying, then we lose our shoreline, then we lose the Keys itself and this beautiful paradise that we have here. Then we have global effects. Now, the Pacific Ocean is larger than all land masses in the world combined. In every major ocean, there is a large gyre, which is a spiraling current. All the trash that is, being thrown, say, into the ocean or ending up into the ocean from anywhere on the Pacific coasts is being swirled into this Pacific gyre. It's essentially become the Pacific trash vortex. And if you were to take a dip net and go through there, what that's going to do is you're going to collect actually small pieces of plastic, any type of marine pollutants, anything that you can possibly imagine. It all gets broken down by the water, and it becomes smaller and smaller for animals to eat. Specific examples of marine life that are being affected by this are, albatross. The albatross on Midway Island have been found with pieces of trash in them from California. And they're dying because they're eating trash that looks like the shrimp that they would normally eat that's floating at the surface. Next, I'm going to tell you how it's happening. How it's happening is, for example, a small bit of trash. Imagine, you're walking down the street one day, you have a piece of bubble gum, and you take that wrapper, you don't have a trash can nearby, you just kind of toss it off to the side. It's a small piece, about a centimeter. Every single person in the world, if every single person in the world were to do that one time, just for one single day, that would be 7 billion pieces of gum wrappers that are all going to find their way eventually into the ocean, unfortunately. Now, that may not seem like a big deal to you, but when everybody does it, it's going to make a huge deal. Parking lots. Parking lots. When you look at a parking lot, you don't really think marine pollution. You think a place to park your car. Take Publix over on North Roosevelt. There are 600 cars there a day. If each car gave off a half a liter of oil, that's 600 liters of oil, 300 liters of oil into the parking lot each day. Rain runoff is going to bring it into the sewage systems, which is then going to bring it into the ocean, which is then going to go into our mangroves and destroy them. Another factor of marine pollution in a large scale is the BP oil spill. Very good specific example. Now what happens is that oil doesn't actually get diluted into the water. It's too dense, it's too thick, it's not natural. What's going to happen is the currents are going to take that oil that floats at the surface and bring it straight towards the nearest shore where all the currents are going. That's why Louisiana and all the Gulf Coast was so affected by the marine oil the oil spill with BP. Now, there are a couple organizations that are trying to help this horrible situation. There are some things that you can do by helping them. First, you have Reef Relief. Reef Relief is a local company or local organization. It's actually on Green Street in Key West, and they specifically, as you can tell by their name, try to help out the reef. They go and clean debris, they clean the shorelines as well, they do cleanups all the time. Then you have the Blue Water Network. It's located in San Francisco, California. The Blue Water Network helps with marine traffic shore collisions, where a boat may run ashore or run onto a coral reef. Excuse me. They run onto a coral reef, and they raise awareness as far as that goes. And they also specifically deal with oil spills and shoreline pollution across the world, but obviously they concentrate in California. Then you have the International Maritime Organization, or the IMO. Now, as opposed to Reef Relief, where it's an organization of people who are trying to help, it is actually a regulating company, or a standard, similar to OSHA. They set the standards for all marine shipping and trafficking going across the globe. And what they do is they concentrate on people going green, and to make sure that all cargo is secured so that there's no pollution. Trying to transfer people to biodiesels, make sure all their equipment is working properly so it's not leaking into the ocean. Any small factors that can contribute. So, what I've talked to you about today is marine pollution. Now, I've gone over the environmental effects, how it's happening, and the organizations that are helping, and what it is that you can do, how you can help them. You can go out and do that Reef Relief cleanup. And I want you to, just walk away with that one piece of bubblegum wrapper. I want you to remember to just throw it away next time. Don't toss it off and let it become into the Pacific trash vortex. Thank you.